Homelessness in Jackson County doesn't look like it used to. On any given night, over 1,000 people are homeless.
We would go from place to place and just kind of bounce around, usually up out in the mountains because we didn't really want to be around all these people and this chaos.
When it started to get too cold, we would rent an apartment, rent a house, rent a room, whatever it took to get out of the weather.
We were struggling. We didn't know how to fit in society. We didn't know how to be in society.
By the time I was 29, I was drinking every day, smoking pot, and taking as many pills as I could. I was void of self-love and self-worth. I was empty inside.
Perfectionism was a huge, huge problem for me. And every time I did things that didn't add up to the way I wanted it done, I would start to crumble a bit. I became an addict and an alcoholic. I had absolutely no confidence, no self-esteem.
In 2013, 1 and 2 parent families with children represented 14% of the homeless population.
I had gone through so many jobs. I'd do really good for a while and then I'd lose them because of the drugs.
Not having that structure for our boys, that was huge.
We just had so many barriers to overcome.
But they needed that structure, they needed that stability, they needed their parents to be there for them, and we were not at the time able to provide that for them.
Then I found meth, or meth found me. I'm not sure what happened, but I left everything for that. I left my family. I had a husband of 13 years, 2 beautiful small children.
I knew that I had nothing from running in my addiction forever and dropping out of school. I didn't have anywhere to go or, anything at all.
They live in camps, cars, and abandoned buildings. Home can be the street, a motel, a friend or family member's front room.
It was like a vicious cycle that happened over and over and over again, and I was getting myself into these situations with people that I just didn't want to be involved with or around, but it was inexpensive.
The homeless in our community are families and individuals who have fallen on hard times. Hopelessness and fear are constant companions. They all have one thing in common: no place to go.
I ended up going to jail for the umpteenth time, leaving my family.
My husband had been arrested again. I was without a job, a car, money. My kids and I ended up on the streets.
I ended up in the streets, homeless, restraining ordered from my house, no contact with my children or my family.
I was just so sad, just so depressed. I just kept asking myself, why do I do this to myself? This isn't my life. This isn't supposed to be what my plan is, what God's plan for me is.
Since 1996, the Salvation Army's HopeHouse transitional shelter in Medford has helped Jackson County's homeless men, women, and families get back on their feet.
They ended up at the Salvation Army Transitional Housing Center at the HopeHouse.
Coming into the HopeHouse, we were actually showed love in action. We were accepted for who we were. We were accepted no matter what our background was. They weren't going to judge us. They weren't going to hold anything against us. Be like, okay, here's where you're at, and we're going to work with you.
I'll never forget the day I arrived with the baby and Terry, and she just opened her arms and she said, "You're going to do it this time, honey." And for the first time in my life, I felt safe. For the first time in my life, and I mean my entire life, I felt safe. I felt cared for. I felt loved. I was just so grateful for being let back, given another chance. This was the first time in many, many years that somebody has just trusted me to do the right thing.
At HopeHouse, the homeless find a safe and clean environment where they can become healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
They told me that the Salvation Army HopeHouse was a perfect place for transitioning into life, back into the real world. And it sounded perfect for me because things just started for the first time to make sense, and I wanted to continue that because I know when you get out of treatment and it's like shocking yourself into freezing water. You want to hold the things you've learned, but you're back into the real world.
The staff at the HopeHouse took the time to just come alongside of us and let us know that, okay, you do have a history now, let's get beyond it. Change your life and see what happens. So putting aside a 21-year meth addiction and devoting my life to trying to change it, we found that there was a lot of resources in the community. The HopeHouse has those kind of networks established, and we didn't have access to them any other way.
Supported by 24-hour, 7-day-a-week case management and support services, HopeHouse residents complete drug and alcohol treatment, get jobs, pay debt, start saving money, and learn about things like credit, anger management, and how to be a better parent.
A lot of what I learned there was how to be able to cope, how to be able to work through painful issues, and how to be able to be in society, and not only in society, but as a productive member.
The HopeHouse for me was groundbreaking. Right away going in there, they teach you how to go on job searches, and right away I was able to get a job. Now, it might not have been the job that I wanted, but in the past I've never held a job more than a couple months. And today I still have that same job just due to patience and daily maintenance on myself.
What I loved most about the HopeHouse is that they didn't hold me by the hand and walk me from employment opportunity, from store to store. They didn't hold me by the hand. They said, there's a door, be back by 5, and report to us where you went. And I did.
But as we started going through their program and doing the work that was required to reclaim our lives, amazing things happened. They don't back down when the going gets tough. They do everything they possibly can as long as you're willing to work with them. And that's what we experienced, was that as long as we were willing to work through our issues and work through our problems, we had all the support that we could ever need.
In 2014, 22 families, including 31 adults and 45 children, found a safe haven at HopeHouse.
Now, when we left, we were out of debt, completely out of debt. We had a car. Michelle had her driver's license. I was well on my way to getting a driver's license. We both had jobs. There was joy in our family. There was happiness and a unity that hadn't been there in a long time.
We really had to kind of rediscover each other, discover ourselves individually, as husband and wife, as a family.
I have the gifts of sobriety. I have the things of sobriety that sobriety brings you when you work hard for them, but I also have a sense of self-love and a sense of self-worth and integrity. I know what rigorous honesty feels like, not just what it means.
Being in the HopeHouse and leaving there, I finally got my license back. I have a car. I now live in a men's sober house, out of my choice, because I want to continue with what I'm learning. In June, I'll have 1.5 years of sobriety, and I've never had more than 2 days. Life is good now. Things are really good.
At HopeHouse, hopelessness is replaced with hopefulness. Men, women, and families come to us from the street, from camps and cars, to find a hand to help them get back on their feet. Broken lives are mended. Parents are reunited with children. A second chance becomes a better life. Despairing and downtrodden upon arrival, uplifted upon departure, whole and healthy people leave HopeHouse believing in themselves and in their future.
When they see that you're actually willing to change, things start to move out of the way so that you can change.
Today is incredible. Today, I've been given the gift of a full-time position at the Addictions Recovery Center. I've been given the gift of my children on a very regular basis. I fully believe that if it wasn't for those core values and skills, I wouldn't have been able to accomplish the things I've done today. Hold down a full-time job? What? Pay my bills? keep going to the meetings and keep going to church that I know is good for my soul, the things I know that are going to keep me clean and sober. Preparing healthy meals for my kids. Those are all skills and tools that I brought away from there.
The Hope House was so unbelievably important for me. To me, it was family.
They changed one life with mine. But it wasn't just my life. They changed the future of my sons.
I can't even tell you how grateful I am. I'm so grateful that they're there and that they have the love of Christ in them and are so willing to share that and freely give that to others and enable lost and hurting people to find their way.
Sometimes it takes more than hope and a house. It takes you. We're looking for 80 businesses or individuals that will commit $500 a year. This will allow us to take care of 2 families in need. Through your gift, we will touch the lives of those who need it most. Please help us with this effort, and we can add hope and a home at the Salvation Army Hope House.